Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Open in PHL podcast. I'm your host, Carl.
And I'm Danielle.
And on this podcast, we share the stories of the artists, stores, restaurants, and other businesses that make Philly special.
Today, we interview Kianu Walker, founder and ice cream maker behind Vannah Banana.
We talk about his previous music career, having a positive influence on your community, and his plans for bringing better ice cream to the people.
Raised in like the almost Fairmount area, like near 20th and Girard. It's kind of where I grew up.
Oh, nice. I used to live at like 16th and Mount Vernon, so kind of close to there. That's cool. What was it like growing up in that area?
It was nice, just like any neighborhood, lively community, lots of kids, regular North Philly neighborhood, experience growing up.
Cool. What made you stay in Philly? Like, why didn't you move away?
I actually did for a little bit. When I was like 14, I moved away to Harrisburg for like a couple years, like 5 or 6 years, and then I was missing home a lot in my hometown, all my old friends, so I moved right back. And I was traveling a little bit there, like, traveling the country. I used to be a rapper, and I just toured the country doing shows in all different types of cities. It was kind of just, going with the flow of things. And then I wanted to sit back down for a little bit and like kind of establish something back at home. And, I had the Vannah Banana idea for a while. So I felt like it was a good time to come back and make something happen.
Tell us more about your rap career, because we read a little bit about this.
We made a note, and I know that you were touring for a bit. I would love to hear stories from the road, if you don't mind.
Shoot, there's a lot of crazy stories. Honestly, I just started, like, I was rapping when I was writing poetry for a long time when I was a kid. And when I hit like 16, I had left school, and I just felt like it wasn't anything there that I really wanted to, be involved in, I guess. And I just wanted to write poetry all day and listen to music. So I left school and I just started doing that. And I happened to meet some fellas who were like, listen, we're about to make this band. We're gonna leave here. We're gonna go to New York City and we're gonna make something pop off. And I don't know. I just was like, all right, that's cool. I didn't know how far it was gonna go, but they really moved to New York and they linked up with this guy named Grammatic in the electronic scene and the EDM scene and things of that nature. And they made some really incredible music. And on their first debut album, they featured me on a track, and it got really big. Got like 1 million views or something on YouTube. And after that, they just started picking me up to take me on shows. And within a couple of years, I was on the road with them full time, just, going all different types of places like Atlanta, Chicago, Boston, New York. Man, there's so many places, like probably like 15, 20 different cities. We did a tour in Colorado, a lot of different places. And it was awesome. It was an incredible experience, just like being able to live out your childhood dreams to a certain extent. Just like, it was a beautiful experience. I smile every time I think about it.
Yeah, I know that Grammatic was a big part of I play video games, but I know he was a big part of the Cyberpunk soundtrack for the game that just came out. So that's sick. You were able to make that connection and grow from that.
Yeah, for sure. I did a couple different like artists. We collabed with a whole bunch of different artists on tours. Like there was this band I think called like Break Science, and there's another one called Pretty Lights. You ever heard of Pretty Lights?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple. I think we did a couple shows with them and just kicked it with them a little bit. Yeah, a whole bunch of different artists and stuff. So it was an awesome experience.
Very
and the
cool.
band that I worked with was called XMAG, EXMAG. They're awesome. They're incredible dudes, and they changed my life for sure.
Is this stuff on Spotify?
Yeah, a lot of it should be on Spotify.
All right, cool. We'll put the links in the show notes.
For sure. And I think the biggest thing I pulled from that experience was like, you can really just put your mind to something and have like a vision or an idea, and it can come to life with a little bit of work and effort and connecting with people. Like I just saw, like wanting to be a rapper as a kid and things, and I thought about it and I worked on it and connected with the right people and I made it happen. So I kind of went into Vannah Banana with the same mindset.
Helps if you have a driving force with you too. In this case, you had people riding along, and I think that makes any
Sure.
experience so much better and more memorable.
Indeed.
So we know that you had a time where you were traveling, making music, touring and whatnot. What were your first memories of ice cream ever? And has your feeling towards ice cream changed over time?
I mean, my biggest memories as like a kid, I guess, was just going to this place called Philly Flavors. This is still open.
Yeah.
On Fairmount Ave. Pretty
Yes.
close to where I grew up. And we've been going there. I've been going there since I was a little kid. I know the owner and all that. We used to every weekend or every couple days, especially in the summer, we try to get down there. Every time we got a couple dollars, we'd all the kids, we ride down there and go get ice cream. And my dad would take us down there sometimes, my mom. So I think that was my real big experience for like ice cream and water ice, going down there and getting some of my favorite flavors. And I've been a big fan of it ever since, yeah.
Ice cream is like one of those things that not too many people dislike. So it can really, I guess, unite people or help them find a common ground.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely I think it was a great treat to like introduce in the city for a plant-based version for people to enjoy, It connects with everybody, regardless whether it's vegan or not, everybody has an awesome or cool relationship with ice cream for the most part.
That's also a great point. Ice cream is one of those things that a lot of non-vegan people will try that is vegan, that doesn't turn them off. They're very like
Yeah.
into it. So can you talk to us a little bit about your veganism? I read that you went vegan a few years ago. Tell us why you made the transition.
Well, I noticed that like a lot of people in my family were suffering like a lot of health issues um, in their, as they got older, and it they were potentially preventable diseases and ailments by choosing to live a healthier lifestyle to a certain extent. And I think that really kind of motivated me to just choose a healthier lifestyle overall. Like I watched good family members get things like cancer and diabetes, and it just really it affected me like emotionally and mentally. It just, but on a positive note, I was like, wow, I gotta start thinking about my health and choose to live a healthier lifestyle. So I quit smoking, I stopped drinking, I quit eating. Oh, I'm gonna quit eating red meat, and then it was like, oh, I'm gonna stop drinking milk too now, and I love cheese and fish, but they gotta go for a little bit too. And eventually, I just went fully vegan, and haven't went back since.
Have any of your family members kind of followed suit or drawn inspiration from you?
Most definitely. Like that's the other thing that made me realize, I have an influential role in the people around me. From my partner to my parents and my brothers and sisters, and to the people that live in my neighborhood. I realized that like there was like little kids like watching me eat fruits and vegetables and plant stuff in my garden, and one day I came outside and they were trying to plant fruits and vegetables, and that really like hit me heavy. I was like, oh man, like I do have a influential a sphere of influence on the people that I touch every day, whether I know them very much or not, they might just be walking by and like, hey, that guy looks kind of cool, or man, what's that in his hand, and that might change their whole situation. So, yeah.
That's so important to recognize too, is the choices you make don't just affect you, they also affect the people around you. So you have to make sure, you're checking yourself, whether you're making those positive decisions or not. they do have an effect on not just you. So that's really awesome that you've inspired the people around you to make those better decisions.
For sure. My grandma's been eating healthier. My dad, he's been trying, here and there. Same with my sisters, they try here and there. And my partner, they went fully vegan recently in the last year or so. A lot of people around me are deciding, and homies from my neighborhood that generally wouldn't be exposed to like a plant-based lifestyle or things of that nature. They see somebody in their circle trying it, and I got a couple friends now that are now pescatarian and trying to go vegetarian and things of that nature. So and it feels good to know that you can play a positive role in the people around you's lives just by setting an example to a certain extent. It's more than just words, like just living out the things you preach. So
I think maybe it's because I've been with Danielle almost 3 years now. Happy almost 3 years, Danielle. But I feel as if plant-based and veganism, it just kind of is a chain reaction where I started to pick up on it a little bit. And now my mom just goes towards almond milk. My dad, I think, is approaching going for almond milk, but like I see stuff when I go to my parents' house that I didn't see before. And it's not as if Danielle went up to them and said, "Oh, I do this because of this." It's kind of a mix of curiosity, but also exposure, which I think can do wonders just from having someone out there saying something.
Yeah, and I think some people even like they start experiencing small things like, man, I feel like clogged up, or like I've been sluggish lately, or or I'm not at my maximum energy potential or mental clarity. Maybe there's some things I can change in my life right now to help with that. So yeah.
For sure. And it's all of this is taken to another level when you have a vegan product that people can actually just go and buy. So we'll get back to the business part of it, but I loved this veganism tangent so much. What was the initial spark to start Vannah Banana, which is named after your sister, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the things was just like I wanted to create something that was like a legacy, or just something that could represent my family, in the world, make a mark in a sense. And the other thing was like, I just wanted to bring people some cool stuff. And the actual idea of Vannah Banana, it just kind of like popped in my head one day, it just like, oh man, Vannah Banana, that sounds smooth. That sounds nice. Like I like that. Like, man, I could make like banana ice cream, or I could make like some type of plant-based ice cream thing and get it popping. And I've been like really enthusiastic about it over the last few years. I've just been telling people like, I'm gonna start this thing called Vannah Banana, and it's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be popping. But I didn't know how I was gonna do it, and I didn't know where I was gonna get the capital. I didn't know what ice cream recipes I was gonna be using. I didn't know where to start. I just was like, I'm gonna do this one day, and it's gonna be lit. Like people are gonna like it.
Rad. That's definitely kind of the business backstory that I prefer, is when it's like it really comes from someone's passion rather than like, oh yes, I went to business school and I saw this white space in the market and I wanted to fill it,
For sure.
Yeah.
And I guess in a certain sense, I saw that too. I was like, I don't see anybody locally. Like, there's some international brands or national brands of ice cream, like by like big conglomerate dairy people and things of that nature. And it's all good, but I was like, man, people need something like local that they can come and support and try out, that actually comes from where they're at,
For sure. And on your website, it's super prominent that you are Philly's first vegan Black owned like ice cream business. So it's definitely like a major point. Could you talk a little bit about the significance of that, especially with the past year we had?
Yeah, I think it was important that I represent for the people in Philly and Black culture and just healthier lifestyles and things of that nature. Um, I knew that it was important for me to create something like just business wise. Like I didn't want to work for anybody else, and Philadelphia is I think it's like a majority of Black city, so I felt like it was a good place to start. And like you're saying, yeah, with the crazy stuff that's been going on lately, the racial tensions and the wild stuff with the presidency, like politics and all of that, it was a little crazy. So I just, I wanted to do something cool. I feel like I could have fed into the anger and the confusion and all that stuff that was going on in the media, or I could sit down during this pandemic and not freak out and read some books and educate myself on finances and learn more about business and learn more about branding and practice my recipes and save some money to potentially put into my business. And I just kind of want to represent for my people and let them know that you can do this and make things happen. And you don't got to feed into any of the, bullshit that's going on in the world. You can just take your energy and concentrate it into something creative and expressive that can also be beneficial for you in a financial sense, but also in like a spiritual sense and just like on a positive note overall.
Yeah, and you launched during the pandemic, in case we didn't preface this by saying that, which is a tough thing. It's quite a feat to launch a business during the pandemic when so many things were unavailable. So can you tell us about those first days of launch? Where did you guys sell out of? Like which restaurants and stores, etc.?
At first, I just started for like the first week or two. I was like, all right, I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna put it out there. We'll take some pictures. My partner owns a studio in our house that does photography and videography. It's called Blue Honey Studios, and we also record like music artists in there. I was like, all right, let's just get some pictures done of my ice cream after I finally got a recipe down, and I've had some solid flavors that I wanted to present to the people. So I took a little pictures on Instagram and put it out there like, hey, I'm going to do this ice cream thing. Like, let's see if we can make it happen. Here it is. And the first 2 weeks, it was nothing. Like, I think I sold like to a couple of my neighbors and like a few people online happened to see it. I had like 50 followers or something and made like $20. I was like, all right, this isn't going to be like this crazy thing that I thought it was at first. I'm gonna have to work on it to really, make it happen. And then I was cleaning Tattoo Moms on South Street. I know the owner since I was a little kid, and my dad works there sometimes. When the janitor leaves for vacation, sometimes we clean that place. So one day when I was leaving, I saw this vegan restaurant called Nourish. And I was like, ooh, me and my dad, we should stop in there real quick and try it out. So we started hanging out in there after work every day. And he was like, man, I'm going to try to give the owner some of our baked goods that he sells. And she liked them a lot. Her name's Sarah. She liked them a lot. I was like, all right, I'm going to hold them in stock here. And I was like, man, it's really that easy. Like watching my dad do that, I was like, all right, maybe I should just go in these restaurants and ask them if they want to try my stuff, So I started off there with Nourish and I gave it to a couple other places in the city and everybody was feeling it. They were like, all right, we could do something with this. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And even Tattoo Mom, they're like, we can make something happen. And one of the owners that I met was this guy named Steve. He runs the vegan commissary. And I told him my situation. I was like, well, if I'm going to be selling the restaurants, like I got to work out a professional kitchen. And Steve was like, listen, man, like, I like your product. I like your energy. Like, you can work out here. We'll figure something out, like, And he let me make the ice cream in there, and I'm still working out of there. Big shout out to Steve, man. He shows so much love on his journey. All those people. And yeah, so I gave my product to all these different restaurants. They said, yeah, we'll try it. And then I was like, all right, how can I like get it out there more, like reach the city, like Philadelphia, vegans, plant-based. I was like, all right, well, let me find food bloggers. Let me find vegan food bloggers and all these people. When I start hitting them up, like, all right, yo, you want to try this? Like, I'll give you some free ice cream, And I just started traveling. I just did my rounds, giving free products to restaurants and a whole bunch of bloggers in the city. And it started to catch wind. And then like other places started hitting me up, restaurants like, oh, I seen you on this page. Like, can we try out your stuff? And then all of a sudden, like news people started hitting me up. And I was like, oh, wow, like this is getting kind of crazy. Like, and yeah, I don't know, newspapers and news people just started calling me. And then little I know, I'm on TV, local TV, and I'm in a newspaper. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is more than I expected. But I didn't like celebrate on that. I was like, all right, this is cool. Like, this is nice. I appreciate the love and support, but all this means is I just gotta work harder. This is not a time to pop a bottle and say I did my job. I gotta keep working. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just continually trying to upgrade my recipes and figure out new products that I can bring and how to eventually expand into an actual business, like a brick and mortar or something like that. I felt like it wasn't a good time to do brick and mortar during the pandemic. My best option was to sell out of restaurants that are thriving and surviving during this time. Because I would have lost, like, okay, if I start giving ice cream to restaurants and stuff, like, I'm not going to lose some crazy amount of money. But if I buy a brick and mortar spot right now for like 20 grand or like 30 grand, I might be out of 30 grand. And all these investors are going to be like, wow, like, I lost all that money. But I'd rather just start off real small and see how it goes. So now that it's going good, maybe I'll open like a little shop, stand or a shop eventually when this COVID stuff slows down. But yeah, that was just how I started it, and that's how I was thinking about it.
And we've done interviews throughout the whole pandemic. We started as a pandemic project, and a lot of interviewees said a similar thing of start small, take your time, don't rush it. So it's kind of awesome that you played it so low key and have built it up to where it is now,
For
especially
sure.
with the times that we're in. And, as we move towards 2021, let's hope for something a little bit better for everybody. But I'd
Yeah.
say you've executed very well. So
Thank you.
that's
Thank you so
awesome to
much.
see.
I really definitely put my efforts into it. I just took, the energy I learned. I mean, the energy and the hustle I acquired growing up and things of that nature, and tried to concentrate it into one project, and it's been relatively successful. Not nothing crazy, like I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars, not even tens of thousands. I'm just selling to local businesses and trying to get my name out there. So eventually, something bigger might happen.
And who's going to turn down free ice cream? Let's be real.
For sure, for sure.
Perfect way to get your name out there to begin.
No doubt.
Super important to build that foundation. Like you said, you've done it really well so far. What are there any like challenges that you've encountered by just doing wholesale?
Yeah, I like to choose like high grade ingredients. So like to be able to like do and it's like they're not in like a great stock, especially during the pandemic. It's hard to get stuff shipped, or certain stores that have the ingredients I like, they don't have them in stock or bulk for me to just purchase at a lower price too. So I think just like the cost of ingredients and sometimes like with the ice cream making itself, I guess that's one of the challenges I have. Like, it's a science to it. Like, one small thing goes wrong, or one extra drop, or this and that, or a slight temperature fluctuation before the process of making it, and it's totally off. Like, the ice cream's all messed up. Like, I'm experiencing that right now from winter because it's cold. So some of my products and my ingredients are in stocks and in stores or whatever, and they're getting cold before I get them, and it's messing up the whole. It's just, I don't know. That's the biggest challenge, is like keeping the ice cream consistently uh, the same, and making sure that I have all the ingredients I need in stock, mostly because of COVID though. So hopefully and I don't see that as like a challenge that's gonna like defeat me or anything. It's just like something I'm dealing with right now that I think it's gonna help me grow. You know, I'm only gonna make a better recipe. I'm only gonna figure out the kinks and stuff even more, you know. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's like those little things that seem like a pain in the butt, but you know that they're just learning moments. I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of experiencing the same thing with some of the ingredients I'm working with in my business. But
And I guess
um,
also I don't have enough. I don't have enough machines to make. If all right, if like Whole Foods or like some big market was to call me, it's like, we love what you're doing. Like, want to buy 100 bazillion gallons. I don't think I could do that right now, and that's not where I want to be. I want to be able to say yes or no to that. I don't want it to have to be an automatic no. So I guess that's one of the things I'm doing with wholesale wise. I can only produce. I have these little Cuisinart ice cream makers. Like a big ice cream maker costs like 20 grand or something. I don't have 20 grand. Like I got a couple $100, you know? So
mhm.
that's one of the biggest challenges for me is like being able to afford the machinery to uh do wholesale orders. You know, I don't have that stuff. I got 5 Cuisinart ice cream makers, the ones you can just buy online for like $80.
Yeah.
Like I have 5 of those, and I just churn as much as I can every day. And especially in the summer, I'm just whipping batters of ice cream and churning as much as I can in the day. I think at most I can produce like, if I'm working around the clock, I can produce uh like 6 or 7 gallons in a day at max, you know? And that's if I'm working really, really hard. But in general, I'm producing like 3 to 4 gallons a day. So
I'm experiencing, okay, we have to talk offline because I'm experiencing the same challenges with scaling. And I also have like the non-commercial grade equipment that I'm like burning through. So I'm currently stressing about buying a robot coop.
Glad I can introduce you to each other because Danielle's had these quarrels with Cuisinart for quite some time. I'm glad I can make the connection.
Oh,
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. It's definitely been a struggle, but well, they those machines, they work, you know, they work, they're holding me over. They're making it happen in the meantime, you know, but hopefully I can I need something bigger, you know.
Yeah. And you know that if like you could produce more in less the time, like that would just do wonders for your margins.
Yeah,
So it's kind of that stress as well.
for sure.
Oh, yeah. What the CPG life.
Through Vannah Banana, you released a ramen bourbon, infused eggnog, candied yam, and sea salt caramel with toffee flavors over the holidays. Can we expect a new flavor for Valentine's Day or anything else in 2021?
Yeah, most definitely. I I just kind of like come up with the flavors as I go. Like I think like 3 days before like Christmas or something, or like New Year's Eve, I was like, oh man, I should make a flavor for the holidays. So I just like thought of one. I was like, oh, eggnog. Nobody has an eggnog infused, alcohol infused, you know, flavor out. Maybe I could just do that. So I got to experimenting, and it came out nice. And but yeah, you should definitely expect to see more cool flavors. I like to keep the people and the customers interested in what I got going on, and one way to do that is to continue to be creative and make, you know, cool new things. So most definitely, I'm gonna have some new stuff coming out for the holidays. Like I said, I don't know what yet. It kind of just comes to me, but most definitely.
Yeah, I want to dig a little bit more into your flavor development. So you have your 24 karat gold
Yeah,
rose gold, 24 karat rose gold,
yeah.
right? What else do you have?
We have cookies and cream. You know, a basic one. That's probably one of our biggest sellers. Everybody loves cookies and cream. We do blueberry vanilla. Um, what else? Just for the holidays, we had that eggnog rum infused one and the bourbon infused one. Hot chocolate with caramel in it and toffee in it, and basically, oh, green tea matcha. We always have green tea matcha, candied yam. Sometimes in the summer we do coconut chocolate chip topped with coconut flakes. Let me think. I don't know off the top of my head what else flavors do we have. Those are the ones I can think of right now. Those are the main ones I can think of at the moment. Oh, chocolate almond. That's one of my favorites. It kind of tastes like a frosty, like a ice cream frosty or something, a vegan frosty.
Oh, that's nostalgic.
Yeah.
So all of your flavors are coconut based, and we know that, vegan ice cream can be almond based, it can be soy based, it can be rice based, it can be oat based, like whatever. What drew you to coconut? What value do you see in the coconut base?
Well, the consistency of the ice cream, like I spent 6 months working on a recipe before I put anything out. I just was trying so many different things. I think it was the fat content and yeah, just the texture that it creates. It creates vegan ice cream that tastes like ice cream, without having I'm sure I could figure out how to make it with rice or almond and stuff like that, but that would be a much longer process. And I think a lot of those companies that do that, they have a whole science team that can sit there and work on, I'm going to make almond milk in the ice cream, But my personal experience, it just turns out really watery and icy, and it just doesn't create that fat, creamy, rich, almost dairy flavor, dairy kind of ice cream that coconut milk does. So I think coconut milk, that's the reason it drew it to me. I initially wanted to only use bananas because Vannah Banana, but I couldn't even, my personal experience, and I'm sure some people have a different one, but in my personal experience, it just wasn't consistent with bananas either, getting that rich dairy almost texture and flavor.
Yeah, nice cream, the frozen banana ice cream that a lot of us vegans will make at home. It's great for you to make at home, but to replicate it in a commercial kind of context over and over again is bananas are there's such a spectrum of how ripe they can be. I can imagine how challenging it would be to just stick to bananas on a scale like you're going for.
Yeah. Hopefully in the future though, I am aiming this winter. I haven't really told anybody, but this winter I'm trying to work on alternatives to coconuts because not everybody likes coconuts, or some people are allergic, or there's a lot of reasons to have alternatives like oat milk ones or banana ones, or even soy ones. Not everybody's a big fan of soy, but even having some soy ones. And so I'm definitely trying to find some other alternatives on the way.
Very cool. I wonder if you could do anything with tahini, because that's a good fat content.
I used to work at Goldie. I used to work at Goldie.
Oh, we love Goldie.
I love Goldie too. I used to drink their milkshakes, their tahini milkshakes, a fiend. I'd eat 4 of them a day on the job. So I definitely, tahini's delicious, and you could definitely probably make some cool stuff with that. I definitely would think about putting that in the mix at some point.
There's a brand, and they make sesame milk, and I can't remember. It's called Hope and Sesame. So they have that sesame milk at, I think, Acme, and I've seen it at Mom's Organic Market, and it might be at Whole Foods, and definitely Sprouts. So if you're looking for a low hanging fruit to just screw around with sesame, then
I might try that.
Yeah, that might be helpful, but we'll see how it goes. I'll be a taste tester for it if you need any.
For sure. No, I'm definitely that's something I have to take into consideration and experiment with my next grocery trip. I'm putting sesame on the list.
Very cool.
So Kianu, you talked about your community. In what ways have you gotten support from your community, and what ways are you giving back to your community?
I guess I owe everything to the community. I wouldn't have, from the owners of restaurants, local restaurants, to the people that have come out to my pop-ups and to those restaurants to buy the ice cream. the people, I don't know who reached out or who connected me to them, but thanks to whoever told the news about me or, put me in these good places, I owe everything to the community, and the ways that I intend on giving back, I as many as I can, this summer when I have finally had like a week of free time or space to really work and do something different. I spent a whole week just like giving back as much as I possibly could. I did, I think, 3 pop-ups that whole week, and 100% of all, not just like everything that I made from those situations, I donated to 3 to 4 different charities. One of them was the Marsha P. Johnson Foundation. One of them was called the Black Mamas Matter Alliance, and another one was a local one called Spirits Up 2 and 5. And I'm trying to think, there was another one too that I can't remember off the top of my head. But all those go specifically towards the Black and Brown communities in Philadelphia and internationally. I think the Marsha P. Johnson Foundation is something that helps is a charity donated towards like the Black, trans, and queer community, if I'm not mistaken. And Black Mamas Matter Alliance is just something dealing with helping Black moms, like, nationally with everything, and Spirits 2 and 5 is actually something that my godfather helps organize. Is just something that I'm pretty sure just like, I don't know exactly what they do off the top of my head. I ain't gonna hold you, but I know that it's something that is for the Black community in Philadelphia, and for the community overall. There was encampments during, during this whole thing, during the pandemic, and I had a point in my life where I didn't have anywhere to stay, so I felt that, and I just would be passing by there a lot, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do to help, and so I gathered some resources, and I was able to donate a good portion of food and hygiene products, and also I donated a pound of weed to him. I know when I was, struggling and running around a little bit in the streets, the one thing that helped me relax myself was a little bit of herb, rolling up a joint or, a blunt, and it helped me get me through the day, So I made sure I broke down the pound and put it into eighths, and with a blunt wrap or a rolling papers pack and a lighter in like each, bag. And I gave away, everybody in both encampments at least got 2 eighths and 2 lighters and a pack of rolling papers and a pack of blunts. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm gonna figure out a whole bunch of different ways to give back to the community. Like, I don't have capital really to do something crazy, but I know for a fact, like, once I find the situations and continue to educate myself on ways I can, create good things in the community, I definitely will. Like, and I have great visions in the long run. I don't speak on them too often, but Vannah Banana is just the beginning of my gifts to the community. And I got a lot of cool things I want to create and make happen in the city and all around,
That's super rad. I think that's like one positive that came out of this whole pandemic and all the tension in this country in the past years, like the importance of giving back, the importance of uplifting the other people in your community, because no one's an island.
Exactly.
Let's imagine that we go back to February 2020 and the rest of the months after it are completely normal. There's no pandemic collectively. Let's imagine 2020 was a normal year. Would you have done anything differently with Vannah Banana?
I don't even know if I would have opened Vannah Banana because the pandemic made me sit down. And the way I've been living for the last 5 to 10 years, between touring and running around doing a whole bunch of other random, I never sat down. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a concrete plan, or I'm really gonna put all my energy into this one thing. I was kind of divvied into 1,000 different pots, you know, like 10% of my energy here, 10% of my energy there. This gave me a chance to sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna put like 80 to 100% of my energy into this one thing. So I don't know if it would even happen if we didn't have a pandemic, to be honest. But I guess the one thing I might have did different if I did do it I would have had a cart. Like I probably would have had a cart and you know, did more pop-ups. Definitely a lot more pop-ups, like a little ice cream cart that I could take anywhere and you know, show up to a place and just, hey, here it is, you know. I think that's the biggest difference I would have or maybe I would have opened a shop. Maybe I would have gathered all my resources and tried to open a tiny shop. There's a lot of things that I probably could have did different if the pandemic wasn't going on. But I'm thankful it did. I ain't gonna lie. Like it helped me slow down and figure my things out and make it happen like on a small scale. And to be able to do something during a pandemic, it just gave me the notion or the thought that, man, if it wasn't a pandemic, like it probably would have got way bigger, you know, and popped off even more. So, yeah.
I love that positive spin. And I feel as if this would be impossible to trace, but I would love to see how many creative projects or creative businesses or creative outlets were really sparked because of the pandemic. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure the way that some people look at it is like it's the worst time ever. This is happening on top of that happening. But I would love to see an overall look of like all of the awesome creative things that people were able to produce during this time.
Yeah, man. If you're not focused on the bad stuff, like, you know, you can only, I think that the biggest thing that a lot of people were focused on what they couldn't do during this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? But I think there was also a lot of people who were like, what can I do what can I do during this thing? Well, I can't go outside and do this, and that. Like, you know, like I read so many books during this thing. Like before this, I didn't even read like that. I haven't read a book in like 5 years, but during this pandemic, I read like 15 books and like I opened a little business and I did stuff that I generally wouldn't have been doing, like, you know, or I thought that I couldn't do, or I didn't think I had time to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this was cool because you can only focus on what you could make happen. You know, to a certain extent.
And I think that's really the mark of like a true entrepreneur. And, you know, I don't use that word like too much, but that is the mark of a true entrepreneur, is being able to see the opportunity in adversity. So it's a great way to really start. And it's just a mark that you're on the right track.
Appreciate that.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Well, yeah, when Danielle says that, it means we have like 5 more questions or so. She always does this. I mean, there's a huge bit here that says end cues, like end questions, but she always prefaces it as if the credits are going to start rolling in 30 seconds. All right, well, Danielle, go ahead.
Always room for tangents.
Of course.
So knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your former self when you were just starting off, when you just had this little ice cream idea like years ago?
Man, keep working on your recipes and just save as much money as you possibly can in this time frame, because you're probably going to need it, you know, for emergencies or for this and that. Yeah, I say save and invest as much as you possibly can, so you just have a lot more capital to work with. Get all your paperwork in line. Like, try to get as much as your paperwork as you possibly can in line, so when you're ready to go, you can move forward. Like I was saying before, you don't want to have to say no to things, or I can't do this because I don't got this paperwork, or I can't do that because I can't do this wholesale, or, you know, buy as much equipment as you possibly can. Every extra dollar, like, don't spend it on eating out or a bag of weed. Like, fucking go buy some equipment. I don't smoke anymore, but at the time, like I was burning reefer like I was Wiz Khalifa or something. So I would say save as much money as you possibly can, and and remain positive about, going into this thing, and know that the sky is the limit. But I probably was already thinking things like that. Just this, man, the main thing, just save the money, man. Don't spend it on that bag of weed or that food, that fancy food you wanted to eat. Like, put it away for a rainy day.
That's the thing about making a physical product is you have to front all the money before you make the sale. So it's like super capital intensive.
Yeah, I spent so much, just the recipe formulation itself, like spending 6 months constantly buying different brands of milk and sugar, not knowing whether it was gonna come out with nothing. And just all the money I spent, nobody else fronted me money for this joint or anything like that. This all came out of my pocket. You feel what I'm saying? So just save money or get my credit right so I can get a loan. That's the other thing I would have told myself 2 years ago or whenever I had the idea, bro, get your credit right now, fix it up, get it right so you can get a loan, start getting business credit together, all of that stuff. So you don't have to go out your own pocket for this stuff. Like, get your credit together.
Where do you hope to be in 1 year and in 5 years with Vannah Banana?
In 1 year, I just kind of want to be able to have my own little cart. I want my own little ice cream cart, like a nice one, a real nice one, not like some like just freezer with wheels, but like a really nice little cart I can take anywhere I need to take and do pop-ups and do events and stuff like that. And to I want to get more. Yeah, this the cart, the main thing I think that I want to have going in the next year or so. Um, what else do I want in the next year? I don't know. All I'm thinking about is this cart. Like I just want this little thing, like not nothing crazy fancy, but just like a nice vending cart for me to sell my ice cream out of. I think that's
Graphic on it, or what color you thinking?
I just want whatever color it comes in, and I'll slap my, brand logo on it or whatever, nothing in particular.
All right.
But yeah,
Umbrella too.
Yeah, for
Keep
sure.
it old school. Okay, I like that. I'm with
Yeah,
it.
the old school vending cart. And in 5 years, I guess, the sky's the limit. Big dreaming. Hopefully, I could replace Mr. Softy and be driving around in these neighborhoods with, my trucks everywhere, and giving these kids something that's not gonna, half these kids are lactose intolerant and don't even know it. So giving them a healthy alternative that they enjoy, and have a theme song that it has a more positive background to it. I don't know if anybody know about, the Mr. Frosty song, but it's got, not the greatest history to it. So
tell us about that.
It's a jingle to a racist song from like a long time ago that is just like I don't know, from what I read, it's got a lot of negative energy to it. But I'd rather, in my head, like the way I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I would rather have an ice cream truck that's driving around these inner city neighborhoods, predominantly Black neighborhoods, not trying to get into the race stuff too much, but a predominantly Black neighborhood shouldn't be driving around playing a racist jingle and selling these kids dairy ice cream that's hurting their stomachs. Like, I'd rather be driving around with a jingle that plays a frequency or something that promotes happiness, and sell them something that's not going to hurt their stomachs, and might actually be good for them at the end of the day. Not saying my sugary ice cream is good for anybody because it's still sugar, but just healthier than, hormone-induced milk, So I think that's what I would say in like 5 years, and maybe be a relatively successful brand name or whatever. Maybe be in a couple supermarkets or something. I don't know.
That's definitely a better option, even though, it's still sugar, but it's not, it doesn't have all the hormones of dairy in it. Exactly. That's crazy. I never knew that about the Mr. Softy
I didn't know until I was an adult. I was like,
Oh
wow,
my
like
God.
Yeah, I'm
you
looking
got
at
a
it
lot
now.
of nerve to be driving around all these neighborhoods and selling these kids stuff that's, you know, not even good for them, man. It all ties together at the end of the day with that.
We'll have to link to some stuff in the show notes for people who are listening. This is so interesting to me and sad.
Yeah, right. No, seriously, but
Fucked
I,
up.
I just look at it like every time I hear the Mr. Softy joint, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna take you out, bro. Like, you don't even know, like, I'm coming for your head, dog.
Wow. Well, you know what? If it lights a fire under your butt to like, take your business further, like put the pedal to the metal, then, you have to use that negative energy and turn it into positive.
For sure. And I ain't gonna hold you. Like, the other thing I'm thinking, like, all right, in 5 years, like maybe I'll be tired of making ice cream, and maybe somebody, a big conglomerate. I'm not against that. Just like paying me what I'm worth. You feel what I'm saying? Like, throw me the 5 mil or the 10 mil for my little ice cream brand. You feel what I'm saying? Because I got a million and two other ideas that are just as awesome. So that'll just fund them things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also into that. Like, if Tom and Jerry or Ben and Jerry's, whatever, call me, it's like, yo, we want to buy your brand for like a good $4.5 million or some shit like that. That's life-changing money too. So like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't against that either. But yeah, either create a brand that, you know, kids are eating and enjoying, that ain't hurting their bellies and ain't on some crazy stuff like Mr. Frosty, or be able to merge or sell out to a huge company and use those profits to do even more awesome stuff for myself and my community. So
Yeah, there's no shame in having an exit strategy. And if it's the right company, then they'll just have more resources to grow it even more, as long as they stay true to like your principles.
for sure.
So, Kianu, where can people find Vannah Banana IRL and online?
You can find Vannah Banana at vannabanana.org. That's my website. You know, that'll tell you where the locations are and things of that nature. We're on Instagram, Vannah Banana Philly, VANNAHBANANA Philly. And in person, you can go to Nourish at 943 9th South Street. You can go to Tattoo Moms at I don't want to say the wrong address. I think it's 6532 South Street. It's on.
That sounds about right. It's an even number.
Yeah,
in between
it's on
5th and 6th.
Yeah, it's in between 5th and 6th and South Street. You can also find me at Glenside, in Glenside, PA, at Dreams Ice Cream. They're awesome. They hold my stuff in stock, and you actually can get it scooped there with a whole bunch of different flavors and different toppings and things of that nature in the cone and all that good stuff. Where else is it held right now? I'm trying to think. Oh, Vegan Commissary, of course. Vegan Commissary at 1429 Wolf Street. That's where I make everything at. Where else? I think those are the main ones right now that I'm selling to. Just those three right now. During the summer, we have a lot more locations that it's available. But right now, T-Moms, Nourish, Vegan Commissary, and Dreams Ice Cream are the ones I can think of off top that you can visit. It might be more, but I'm pretty sure those are my winter spots that I'm at.
And make sure, to those listening, follow the Instagram to be up to date with all of the places that Kianu will be adding in this next year. We have a whole year ahead of us. Cool.
Let's get these rapid fire questions scooped and popping.
Okay.
The questions can be simple answers, one-worded answers, or if you'd like to go into detail, you're more than welcome to. Does that sound good, Kianu?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Favorite dessert besides ice cream? Because I'm assuming that's your favorite.
Yeah.
Not in the dark.
Oh man, I'm stuck between chocolate chip cookies and cake.
What kind of chocolate chip cookies?
Now I've been buying these these things from BJ's called Mrs. Jones's cookies. Like it's just like this cookie mix, and I just put like vegan butter and a little egg substitute in and bake them things up, and they're delicious. And cake wise, I like all my dad's cakes. Like he makes really good pink champagne cake. And man, I don't know. And his cookies. You know what? I'm going with my dad's pastries. Cole Marie Catering at Cole Marie Catering on Instagram. All his cakes and cookies are delicious, and honestly, they're my favorite ones to eat. Like I buy them. Like I do the deliveries for him, and I kind of like buy some like on the way over. Like or I'll give him some money. Like yo, let me buy 3 of these real quick. But they're so delicious. Like he makes these like mango sugar cookies, and yeah, those are some of my favorites. And then he makes these sweet potato brownies that are actually paired with my ice cream at Tattoo Mom's.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, sweet potato brownies with cookies and cream ice cream in the middle as a sandwich. That's one of my favorites too. But yeah, my Cole Marie Catering pastries, like that's what I'm gonna say. And they're on Instagram, like KOLE MARI Catering. You know, that's Instagram. But yeah, those are all them pastries. I eat them things every day. Like I buy the cake every day. Like that's probably my favorite.
Is his stuff still sold at Nourish?
Yeah, he sold at Nourish. And also at Hibiscus Juice Bar in Southwest Philadelphia.
Very cool.
This is stemming from an Instagram post, but favorite episode of Spongebob SquarePants?
Ooh, wow, that's a hard one. I'm just, man, the whole first season, the whole first and second season, the original stuff.
Yeah.
It was just epic. Like any of those episodes, I ain't gonna hold you. I can't even pick one off top, but any of those episodes, I love the comedy. It was pretty like raw. Like I like them first couple seasons of SpongeBob. So any of those ones.
I'm with you there.
Those are great.
The Krabby Patty training video in particular always strikes a chord with that zoom in. So when I saw it, I knew this was going to be something you knew a little bit about.
Yeah, I just had that idea. Like, shout out to my partner for making that a reality. Cause like, I just was telling him one day, like, I couldn't imagine, like, what if like I could do the ice cream, like with the little background. And then one day I came home and they had brought it to life. So I was like super stoked. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Awesome.
I did want to mention your photography is so good. So good. That's like the number one thing that stands out when you see your Instagram feed is you guys have your shit together when it comes to photos.
Listen, it's not even me. Shout out to my partner, Tiffany, my wifey. She's incredible. She's a photographer, a videographer, and an audio engineer. I ain't trying to do too many shout outs, but Blue Honey Studios, BLUE Honey Studios are on Instagram. They do incredible photography work and videography. And if you want to get your music recorded, mixed and mastered, we do that as well. So yeah.
Very nice. I'm glad we got that in there too.
For sure.
Cool. What's your favorite vegan cheesesteak in the city?
Oh, dang. I really, really like what's the joint called? Dang, what are they called? I'm trying to remember. It's in West Philly. It's owned by this dude named Lamar. Why can't I remember it off the top of my head? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Dang.
This is gonna be news to me. We're gonna have to try that.
Oh, Veganish. I'm tripping. That's it. I didn't even have to look it up. Veganish. It's vegan and ish. They're on like I think they're on 52nd Street or they're somewhere in West Philly.
Yeah, 52nd. I see it now.
Yeah. They probably have my favorite cheesesteak. There's a couple other spots that got banger cheesesteaks. Like I like the Tasties. I like Nourish's and vegan commissaries as well. I like a lot of cheesesteaks in the city. I think that Veganish is probably one of my favorites though. Just because they slap a little bit of that mayo on it too and some cheese, you know what I'm saying? Some cheesy cheese. So yeah.
I was having a debate about the mayonnaise on cheesesteaks yesterday. It got heated, to say the least. Some people
growing up,
weren't doing it right.
I had to have a mayo on the cheesesteak, man. You just go to the Poppy store, and non-vegan cheesesteaks, you gotta go to the Poppy store. You gotta go to the Poppy shop. You get the cheesesteak and the fry for like $5. You know, mayo, salt, pepper, ketchup, all the good stuff. A little bit of onion in there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's how it is.
I'm not
Got to do it the right way.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to some vegan mayo on my cheesesteaks. So.
Most rewarding part of owning a small business.
Seeing the experiences that you create for people. Like, I'll leave a pop-up or something, and I'll be watching like a little couple and their dog, or just like having an experience with my ice cream involved. Like, I played a good part in their day, or like seeing a customer that's like, man, I love your ice cream. I come here all the time, or just to buy it. Like, creating good experiences for the customers. I think that's the most rewarding thing, like that I've seen so far. Like, having someone come up and be like, I love your product. I come wherever it's available and I buy it up. Or just watching somebody from afar, like sitting at the park eating your ice cream and having a moment by themselves or with their partners, or I think that's the most rewarding thing.
Oh, so sweet. This is heartwarming. What's the best Philly neighborhood?
I'm from North, so I love North Philly just because I grew up there. Definitely love North Philly. I love all of Philly. I think my favorite. I love West too. Like, I live in Southwest right now in West Philadelphia. I love West Philly. I love the fact there's a whole bunch of trees everywhere out here, and like it's a very like diverse neighborhood. Like, you can go on like Baltimore Ave, and there's like 10 different cultures, like restaurants available for you to try and taste and stuff. And I love West Philly. I love North Philly. I love South Philly because they showed me the most love during this whole thing. Like, all the restaurants that hold my stuff in stock, and the big part of the vegan community lives in South Philly. So shout out to them too. Yeah.
Yeah, we live in South Philly, so
For sure.
Yeah, I think Carl does too, but I specifically love the vegan community down here and the accessibility.
The most supportive, and I think the biggest, like, and they have the biggest like online and in-person presence in the whole city, South Philly. So definitely.
I know that we're going through winter. Some of the sunsets and sunrises have been great, but what do you think is the best time of year in Philly?
For me, I like summer. I'm a summer guy, man. I love the hot weather because you can go outside and enjoy things with people, and create a lot cooler experiences. Like, I'm not an indoor party guy. Like, when I was younger, I loved going to like wintertime, going to like clubs and parties and things of that nature. But as an adult, like I just like I like going to like parks. Like, I like going to what is it? Bartram's Gardens, Fairmount Park, things. I just like going to parks and like taking like nice little walks, or like or going to cool events in the city, outside. There's this one place that feels really cool. There's a lot of places that feel really cool events in the city, especially in the summer. It's good vibes here. You run into some cool people, and the energy's just right,
Yeah. Perfect. I'm with you there. Summer in Philly is truly one to experience if you haven't done it before.
For sure.
Yeah, we live by FDR, and that was like, especially with so many things being closed this past summer, is really like a lifesaver having that as a resource.
Oh yeah, I love FDR. It's a nice little spot. That whole park and the skate park, it's a good experience there.
Yeah, and they repaved it too, which we're very excited about. For running, biking.
For sure.
Cool. All right. Well, Kianu, that's pretty much all we have. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to mention?
Man, no, this is the most thorough interview I've done so far. I appreciate all the awesome questions. Only thing I want to mention is thank you. Thank y'all for hitting me up and doing this awesome interview. I appreciate it to the fullest extent. Thank you to all the people that have been supportive of my business and my brand throughout this pandemic. It means the world to me, and I hope to continue to provide y'all with an awesome experience and delicious products.
That was such a fun interview.
Kianu got me really excited about cheesesteaks, weirdly enough, but also ice cream. Were there any flavors in particular that you feel as if would work well with Vannah Banana?
What, like ones that he doesn't already have?
You know, the ingredients in the plant-based sector a little bit better than I do. So I'm curious what else could be done with that type of ingredient set.
Well, I mean, there's not really a lot of ingredients that are just unique to veganism that like are used in ice cream, but like I was talking about, I'd love to see him do something with tahini and with the with literal like sesame, whether it's a black sesame. A black sesame would be an amazing ice cream.
And he has that goldy background to him too, which was really cool to hear about. I kind of wish that we hit him up with more questions about that, but
well, I mean, he's still, you know, on Instagram, so we can just DM him. I like how this podcast gives us an excuse to just talk to really cool people who are doing cool things. And I feel like I've said this before, but not actually on the podcast, but it's such a fun experience to be able to connect with people from all walks of life. Like we've had people on here who are not from Philly who just ended up here because of like school or like I did. But then we get the people who are actually originally from Philly and born and raised, and then they're still here and still like contributing to the community, but also to the economy here, which I think is really important.
Yeah, when you have people start here and then move back or stick around the whole time here, I think there's something to be said about it, like a magnet.
Yeah. That's something that a lot of places in the US struggle with is the brain drain, especially in rural communities. I know Philly's not rural, but it's definitely not one of the biggest cities. So to be able to retain talent and also cultivate bright people is really important for the city and for our social fabric here.
Because if it's not, you know, the creative people making something here, then what makes it any different than another place?
Yeah.
Making it unique.
Yeah. And I especially love it in the food space because that's something that I've kind of seen in my consumer packaged goods journey, is that a lot of these CPG companies will start in New York, or they'll start in Boulder, or they'll start in California, like either San Fran or Southern California. And we don't have a lot of representation in Philadelphia. So for us to have people like Kianu and, you know, Nikki and Mike from Fishtown Pickle Project and anybody else who makes a good that can be sold in a grocery store in the middle of the country, I think that's really great for the city as well.
No doubt.
That's just kind of selfish from my end, but but I love that.
It seems like a cool, tight-knit community.
Yeah.
You know, I've only experienced so much, but from what you said, it seems as if it's pretty welcoming and open to whoever's good people.
Yeah, for sure. And what's I gonna say? Oh yeah. And if it seems like this podcast to you listeners, if it seems like it's skewed toward vegan, it definitely is, but there's no downside of being vegan. So I don't know. I don't know if people take an issue with it, but I'm hoping not.
I mean, I'm there to balance it out.
Yeah, that's true. You do provide an outside perspective.
I
But
talk pizza and snickerdoodle cookies or noodles that sometimes have egg in it,
yeah.
even though I'm not the biggest fan of how it has egg in it,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's just food. We're going to eat more of it eventually.
Yeah. And why not make it cruelty-free food?
hmm If possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's something you're open to. Speaking of food, I'm going to go get some water because this was quite the conversation
I
with
need
Vannah
some
Banana.
too. Yeah. I feel like a dehydrated Spongebob right now.
I feel like the older lady that's asking about chocolate because she can't hear what's being said. So let me go change that up. It was nice chatting with you.
Likewise. I look forward to the next time we chat.
If you want to support the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram at OpenInPHLPod. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, or YouTube. And if you know anybody in the Philadelphia area that you would love to hear on the podcast, or just to let us know what you think, shoot us an email at openinphlpod@gmail.com.
You can also DM us on Instagram at openinphlpod. That would be convenient too. I'm going to go steam some broccoli.
All right. Good luck and goodbye.
Bye-bye.